This is, I suppose, a little addendum to this snack and a story I just did on Vision of My Father. I suppose I should disclose this to those who don't know. I was not at all clear about my, I suppose, introduction to the faith of Catholicism upon the mention of my father being unresponsive. Uh, well, I suppose if I say this, it will probably put a lot more things into perspective, and will actually make a lot more sense, the whole story in general. But, well, I suppose I can mention this. I'm going to try and mention it without crying again. But essentially, when I heard, when my brother, poor wretch he was, broke the news to me on the 27th of May that my father could not be woken up by my mother that morning, I was shocked. I had no idea whatever to think. I thought it was all balderdash, one of my favorite terms to use, and that that he would come out of it. And we went to see him, and he was just, he was there at the hospital. I'm not going to say where, but he was there at the hospital, and he was hooked up to the ventilator after having suffered a pretty serious stroke, cerebral stroke in the brain, and it was very sudden, I must say, very, very sudden, because the day before we had actually went to go to the landfill in order to dispose of some leaf litter, and I had actually shared some tea with him. The last thing he ever bought me was a can of Arizona green tea, and I have since washed it out and have kept it all these months. But because of this, I had no idea what to think. And so when we left, we saw him there hooked up to the thing. He actually looked quite peaceful, very, very peaceful, because it looked as though he were sleeping, really. Because I had seen somebody before who was close to dying. I saw an uncle of mine, and he actually was undergoing what's it called, throat cancer, and we stopped by there at the house of my cousin's like a few days before he died, and he was barely alive. He wasn't even speaking. He was like, gasping for air, like that, and just gyrating and still not gyrating, but acting as though he were an electrified fish in the bed in their bedroom. It was that image has stuck with me to this day. It was just horrible. But my father was not at all like that. He luckily looked very peaceful. He didn't have to suffer, and I'm very thankful. We're all very thankful that he didn't have to go through any pain or whatever. But basically, when my brother and I left the hospital, I immediately thought of this one story that my father had told me upon the birth of my brother. He had said that my brother, about maybe one day after he was born, or a couple of days after he was born, had developed a brain tumor. I think it might have been benign, but it was a brain tumor nonetheless. And for a newborn baby, that was not a very good thing. It would be a very critical situation. And so what my father did was that he prayed every single night that it would go away, and it did. And my brother is here to this day. In fact, I just spent the weekend with him a few days ago. So yeah, I thought that were I to apply the same techniques, that I would save my father. I really legitimately thought that. And so pretty much every hour of that day, the 27th of May, I was just saying, oh, please, Lord, my father is a good man. Bring him out of this unpleasantness. Have him walk among us again. Of course, I didn't have a rosary at the time. I was just doing this. And just help him in the same way that you helped my brother when he asked of it. And so I continued to do that all that day. And then on the 28th, oh my God, the 28th. I don't know if I'm even gonna on the 28th, it had been disclosed that the surgeon did not want to perform an operation on him, as were he to do so, yes, technically he would still be alive, but he would not at all be the man that he once was. In fact, he would be reduced to a vegetative state. And that would not really be good for anyone. It wouldn't be good for him. It wouldn't be good for my mother. It wouldn't be good for my brother. It wouldn't be good for me. It wouldn't be good for any of our family. It would just be horrible. It would be like a good, 10, 15 years of just suffering for him. And that's why the doctor didn't want to go through with it. And so basically, Mother, she was devastated. But Mother said, if that's what you think, she didn't want to go through the whole vegetative thing. So she decided to, just have them take him off the ventilator and give him the chance to give his last breath. And so I was informed by my brother of this, actually. And the day that I did that, I actually slipped down the stairs of this place. My room is on the second story of this house that I'm living in. And I have to walk up some steps. I actually slipped on the stairs, landed on my buttocks, I believe my coccyx, and had injured it. And was just in such a miserable mood. My brother had asked me whether I wanted to see him one more time, to which I said no initially, because I didn't think I was going to be able to sit, because I had damaged my ass, and he had just helped me with it an hour before and was now at the hospital. So basically, I sat there for about 30 minutes, and I decided, no, I'm not going to let these two people suffer through the ordeal. And I figured that if I just keep telling them to pray, just pray ceaselessly, and they would, hopefully. I don't know if they most likely did, but we went up there to the hospital one last time. We were in the surgery and such, and we saw this lady, I suppose she was representative of a priest who had just left, and basically they were giving my father his last rites, and I didn't believe anything about that. I was actually offended that they were sending him away. I said, "No, you charlatans. Do you realize who this is? This is my father. He can't die. We need him here. We really do. And you dare give him his last rites?" I didn't know that they were called that at this time. God is a red Indian in giving this man life. And why should we believe in him if 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 he can't let Father live? There was nothing that the doctors could do. They decided to just go over there, and and they were going to take him off. And so what we went and done, about, I don't know, 15 minutes before the whole process was done, we all, just sat around and hugged him and stuff. I believe it was my mother first, my brother next, and then myself. I had no idea what to feel at the time. I actually expressed no emotion the first day that I heard about it. And basically, I went over to him, and it occurred to me that throughout the 20 wonderful years I spent with him, that through those years I never really said that the words "I love you" all that much to him. Mainly because we were both men, and we didn't necessarily want to appear effeminate or anything, but also because we knew that. That was secondary. I mean, well, it wasn't secondary, but we knew that. We didn't need to remind each other of it. It was innate within us. So why say it? That day, I was holding back. I suppose you could say I was holding back tears, and I just went over there. I hugged him. I said I love you for the very last time, and I basically just fell on his breast, and I cried pretty much for the first time in 10 years, because he had told me also never to cry, because you were considered a man, and that they do not cry. They have to have a very sound fortitude about them, and it's not within their emotion to cry. It's a sign of weakness if you cry, and I very much believe that. And there were quite a few instances in my life in which I very much desired to cry, and I really couldn't, and I didn't quite know the reason why. And then I realized it the day my father had passed. And I broke down. I was miserable. It really was. It was just horrible. Very, very, very traumatic indeed for all of us, believe you me. And we basically, my brother and I drove from the hospital and such, everything. We didn't get to see him taken off because we didn't want to see that. We couldn't bear to see his breathing one last time. We didn't want to. So we just left, blubbering mess as we were, and drove home. And I put on this one song that my father always very much liked. It was called Shooting Star, and it was by the group Bad Company. And if you don't know what that song is about, it's basically about a young man who becomes a rock star, and it's about his life. And it's about how he dies by the drink and drugs and all that, a bottle of whiskey and sleeping tablets by his head and such. And it's a very touching song, a very close to home song for us. Whenever we listened to it, we thought of Father because he always had it on cassette tapes or CD mixes or whatever, and it used to play every single time we'd go on holiday to wherever we went. And my brother and I just shared a cry together, and it was just, oh, God. I can't cry, so I just cough. And it was a great release, but I did not very much like, it was just, I don't know how to feel about that. And so after that, I decided to turn to the Catholic faith, and I actually asked my godparents the day before for a Bible. I don't have that exact Bible with me. It's upstairs, but I do have a little one right here. This little Holy Bible. This is a Catholic edition, a very nice edition. Nice hardcover, hardback, whatever you call it. And I had no idea really what to do with it. No idea whatsoever what to do with it. So I just ended up flipping through it just to see if I could find solace in the Lord. I need to... That place is dog-eared. I don't like that. I need to unfold it. This page... I'm ruining it more if I... Okay, there it is. Anyway, and so I just flipped randomly through it, and then I came across this one passage in Isaiah, the book of Isaiah, Old Testament. It was chapter, if I remember properly, it was chapter 57, verse 10. And I feel that this very strongly encapsulated my struggle, or not my struggle, well, I guess my struggle from the time of hearing the news up until the time that I saw my father last. Isaiah 57:10. You were wearied with the length of your way, but you did not say, it is hopeless. You found new life for your strength, and so you were not faint. And I don't know whether you'd call this a miracle, or, magic or whatever, probably a miracle, but upon reading this, on the 29th, upon reading that passage, I felt pretty much no more pain for several days up until the 11th of June, which was his funeral service, where I just let it all out. I haven't been able to cry since then. I'm very thankful for it, but still I struggle with deciding which faith to follow. I very much, I love as I said, I love the physical aspect of the Catholic faith. I love these little rosaries here. I love crucifixes. I have one up in my bedroom. I like the depictions of the Lord Jesus. They're wonderful. I love the fact that, when you light prayer candles and when you snuff them, the smoke from them is basically your prayer ascending up into heaven to it to be answered by the saints and such. That all is just wonderful. And, but at the same time, there is that trepidation about purgatory and this whole thing about not getting into heaven immediately. That really does turn me away from it just a bit, to where I don't know really whether to follow it or not. I'm sure I'll make my decision sometime, but I really couldn't tell you to be certain. But anyway, this video is going on for way too long. I was originally going to post this on the end of that snack and a story, but I figured I discovered it's pretty much the length of it. It's pretty much long enough to be considered its own video, so I pretty much will just post it as is, as its own thing. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Just wanted to clear things up a bit about that last story time. Hopefully you have a bit more background and such, and I'm going to go ahead and get to bed, because I'm pretty tired, to be honest with you, and I just hope that the good Lord will help me get through this night, get through tomorrow and its challenges, no doubt, and will just continue to guide me along the right path as to which religion to follow, be it Catholicism or Christianity, whichever is decided to be right. All right, we'll see you soon. Thank you very much for watching, and God bless.